Okay, let us answer the million-dollar question. What is NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming? Well, very specifically, NLP is a set of tools and techniques that support us in shaping our mode of perception and thought. It's not a philosophy, it's not a way of life, it's a way of perceiving. It's a way of perceiving through sensory awareness that effectively expands our mindset and expands our consciousness. So, to practice these tools and techniques effectively, ideally we want to expand our perception to such a degree that we can see beyond the illusion of the tangible world into infinity. That's right, I'm going to ask you to become Buzz Lightyear. So we want to see to infinity and beyond, and all the way back to the specifics of the day-to-day. We want the full perspective. For what purpose? Well, we want to understand the relationship between the two. And again, what is the purpose of understanding the relationship between the two? Well, if we can understand or appreciate the relationship between the two, where there is relationship, there is connection. Where there is no relationship, there is disconnection. It's very, very simple. So, where we can see the relationship, we can begin to appreciate the illusion of this physical reality as a teacher, as a guide, and as a gift. And we see that working with the illusion is effectively our life's purpose. It's effectively, the journey that takes us back to wholeness, or what you might term as integration or trust. And eventually, when there's no longer a purpose for the teacher, the illusion vanishes and reality, and I'm not talking about the physical reality you know now, and I'm also not talking about physical death. The reality becomes clear in our perception when we no longer need the teacher. Okay? And the teacher is life. It's not me, by the way. I'm merely going to shine a light on different aspects of life to help you perceive life as the teacher. So, what is human life? Well, human life is the enactment of war. And this war, both internal and external, is a war between trust and fear. And in fear, we experience lack of safety, negative emotions, limitation. And in trust, we experience freedom, joy, and expansion. And throughout this training, we're going to talk about this movement towards joy, which is often not what people perceive it to be, because joy is a really peaceful frequency emotion. It isn't that, woohoo, I'm so excited, leaping off the rooftops. It's a profound sense of satisfaction and peace, and that is the frequency of joy. So, how does all this manifest? What on earth is going on, and what on earth am I talking about? Well, we live in the illusion of separation. We are born from wherever our consciousness comes from, and that's for you to find your own answer to. We're born into the world with ego, with personality, and a conscious mind. We also have a subconscious, and I guess the next layer down is the unconscious. And then we also have something called the collective unconscious. Okay? However, what's important about the illusion of separation is ego, personality, and conscious mind. So the minute we're born, we are categorized. The minute we come out, the doctor says, it's a boy, it's a girl. There we go, first separation of life. We then continue to support the idea of separation by further categorization And this is how our brains are actually designed, because our brains are learning machines, okay? So effectively, our brain is designed to perceive information through our sensory awareness. So let's take what we see. And when we see light, our brain says, well, it's light. Is it light, yes or no, or is it something else? If it's something else, what is it? At which point, our brain might say, well, that's white light, or that's sunlight, or that's blue light, or that's red light. Or it might say, well, that's not white light, that's not white light, that's not white light. I don't know what kind of light it is yet, but it's not white light, but I think it's white. I think it's light. That was hard to say. So our brain is one big compare and contrast machine. We are programmed to learn, okay? So this categorization and judgment effectively starts the minute we are born into the physical. And that's the very tangible, very specific level, okay? Life itself is a journey from that compare, contrast, judgment, ego, personality level, and by the way, physical gender, which is the first thing that gives us this idea of separation. Life is the experience of the journey through the illusion and back into integration, oneness, and connection. So at the infinite level, we can perceive ourselves as consciousness. And through the teachings of quantum physics, we can now know that consciousness is energy. And energy presents as light or sound or tangible matter. The chair you're sitting on is a very dense version of energy. Now, if we can appreciate that we are more than our physical body and the physical world we live in, we can appreciate that we are a consciousness with a body. I think it was C.S. Lewis who said, you're not a body with a soul. You're a soul and you have a body. Okay? So some people refer to this consciousness as soul, or they may refer to it as spirit. And if we can appreciate that, we can appreciate that what we consider most important in this physical world, which I don't know if you've noticed is life or death, is to some degree an illusion, because energy does not begin or end.